Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily UPSC MCQ series. We are taking Mission 2020 series, and every day we are discussing important questions. And regarding the number of the questions, you please give me your feedback. Some students are saying that less number of questions but big explanation is okay and it is good. We need that. And some students say we need more number of questions and lesser explanations. So it's a kind of a very confusing situation for me because half of you are saying like that. So 17th of June. We will take some questions, some important data, and according to me there are several questions hidden in one question. Many details are there. We can segregate them into different questions, but for the sake of remembering and memorizing this clubbing I'm doing here, so I'm trying that. And these affordable courses are available in the description. The link is given and all the details are given regarding these courses. Very affordable one, and stay at your home and study peacefully according to your own adjustment of your pace, that whether you are going very fast, where you are going very slow, you can adjust yourself, because that thing is not possible with the offline classes, and lakhs of rupees are wasted. These are the numbers there you can call, and you can ask for all these inquiries, and all PDF are uploaded on this Facebook group. The Telegram's link is also given, and the StudyIQ's Telegram link you must be having. So there I upload these PDFs daily. Maurice Strong, an important personality, and when you see that particular name, then you must recognize the issue here, because very less number of people are there who are associated with some particular body, some particular program, some particular initiative. And Maurice Strong certainly was related with the particular body you need to recognize here. Second, one of several implementing agencies for the Global Environment Facility, GEF. You see, GEF itself is a financial mechanism, and this particular body is one of the several implementing agency of that. So that's important. And there is a multilateral fund also. This multilateral fund specifically working for the implementation of Montreal Protocol, which is there for the ozone depletion depleting substances and their control. So that is also a very much successful treaty of modern times. This Montreal Protocol established in 1987. And regarding that, multilateral fund was created. So for the multilateral fund and for this global environment facility, both are financial mechanisms, and this body is the implementing agency for both. There was a solar loan program, and it was inaugurated in India by this body, and it's certainly not a UN agency, but they are pushing for it that it should become a program or agency or a particular authority, because till now it's a program. So it's a UN environment program, a United Nations environment program. Sometimes it is also called UN environment, but it's not any authority, it's not any agency, but it has been dealing with many crucial issues. So D is the answer here. D, UNEP, founded by Maurice Strong, the first director. And this conference on human environment, you see, specific names, titles were given for these important conferences. Like this happened in 72. After 20 years, the Earth Summit, Rio Summit, that happened, and that was regarding the climate change. And next, Rio Plus 20 happened in 2012, and that was regarding the sustainable development. So this was the conference on the human environment, first one, the biggest one. India also participated here. Indira Gandhi went for that. And in 72 year, we know that we brought Wildlife Protection Act also in 72, and 73 we brought National Tiger Conservation Authority. So we took many steps when not many countries were interested in discussing this issue, and we were the proponent of that. So Stockholm conference, this particular program was, and Stockholm is the capital of Sweden, so it happened there. And this UNFCCC, UNCBD and UNCCD, they got established after the Rio Summit of 1992. This UNEP was established after this Stockholm conference, so way before these important bodies. So it is dealing with the atmosphere, ecosystem, all these issues, environmental governance, environmental sciences, researches and finances also. So it is dealing with the funding also, working with NGOs, governments and every important stakeholder. UNEP frequently uses the alternative name as UN Environment, but it's not any agency or it's not any authority, it is a program. And the headquarters there in Nairobi, Kenya, which is there in Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, near the Mount Kilimanjaro, the peak that is the highest one in the Africa. Regarding the Global Environment Facility, as I told you, it's a financial mechanism for many programs like Stockholm Convention, Minamata Convention, and this Montreal Protocol has its own That the name is Multilateral Fund. So it's implementing agency for all these things. And International Cyanide Management Code, a program of best practice for the chemicals used at gold mining operation, was developed under UN Environment's aegis. So International Cyanide Management Code, when they go for these gold ore digging and they purify the gold there, so in the gold mining operation, cyanide treatment is there. So regarding that cyanide management code, that was developed by UNEP only. And UNEP has registered itself with the Montreal Protocol, Minamata Convention, that was regarding the mercury toxicity. Okay, solar loan program that was there in India. Lakhs of people, they had their finances for their solar power systems establishment, and the same kind of program that was replicated in countries like Tunisia, Morocco, both are there in Northern Africa, Indonesia, Mexico. So these countries, they also had these kind of loans program. So it was all by UNEP. And these are important divisions, means it is working in these areas. Next, United Nations has 3 Rio conventions, namely UNFCCC. As I told you, these 3, UNFCCC regarding climate change, regarding biodiversity, UNCPD regarding desertification and combating that particular problem and reversing that with the plantation and the forestry. So UNCCD, these 3 were established after the Rio Convention, and that was called the Earth Summit of 1992. So after 1992 they were established. Way after that, UNEP establishment. Second is also correct. It was established in 1994, and you see, it is the only legally binding international agreement among these 3, and which is linking environment and the development issue to the land agenda. So that's the case, and that's why in the PIB data it appeared today, and they gave details regarding the soil health card scheme and all other important programs. And this is all regarding the UNCCD. You see, the conference of parties, important meetings, they happen for UNFCCC, UNCPD, and they also happen for these UNCCD also. And this time in August and September, we are going to host UNCCD's 14th meeting. So that's very, very important. Third one, they have declared, UN General Assembly has declared 5th June as day to combat desertification with the Environment Day. No, it is not correct. They have actually declared 17th of June, today, 17th of June as World Day to combat desertification and drought. Okay, and mostly all the countries are affected with this phenomena where deserts are their particular areas are rising in square kilometer numbers, because less plants are there, more desert is there. So third is wrong, 1 and 2 is correct option. B is the right answer here. You see, the news that appeared in PIB today, they talked about this particular COP 14 of UNCCD. Please don't confuse it with the COPs of UNFCCC. You see, the famous one of 2015, the Paris Summit, or the COP 21. So that was regarding the UNFCCC. It is regarding the UNCCD. So that's important. And 30% of our country's total geographical area is being affected by land degradation, and maybe more. And the speed is also very, very crucial here. So we need to reverse that by planting more and more trees. And 14th session of COP, that is going to happen. And the primary function of the COP, what is that? It is to review reports submitted by the country parties and detailing how they are carrying out their commitments, because it's a legally binding issue. So that is the most important thing. And it is also mentioned in the Sustainable Development Goal, the goal number 15, that states directly about the halting and reversing the land degradation issue. So that's important. Next, forest landscape restoration. You see, Union Minister also launched a flagship project on enhancing capacity on forest landscape restoration, because it can be restored by planting more and more trees. So that's why it's a very important thing. And an associated phenomena is the bone challenge. So please read about that. And next, if I tell you about the bone challenge, Bonn is in Germany. It's an important city. It's a global effort to bring 150 million hectares of world's deforested land and degraded land into restoration by 2020. So 1 year is left, and they have to reverse 150 million hectares of the world's deforested land. But you see, we are losing with a much more faster pace. So that's a cause of concern. And UNCCD is the only legally binding international agreement linking environment development and the land agenda. So that's important. Next, zoonotic disease. Many times we are hearing about some issues where some disease they are spreading from animals to humans. Many causative agents are there, pathogens are there like virus, bacteria, fungi. All these are there, and they are affecting animals. And the disease is related to animals, but it is spread to humans. So if you talk about the rabies, it is the disease, the psychosis of a dog's brain. But if the dog bites any human, that person again can become mad, and that hydrophobia, that may be a reality with that rabies virus. So that's a zoonotic disease, active zoonotic disease, like the avian flu, swine flu. These all are zoonotic diseases. So C would be the answer here, which can spread from animals to humans. And these are sometimes very dangerous, like anthrax. Anthrax is a bacteria, and the main victims are cattle, but it may be spread to humans also, and in the powder form it can be spread. So there was a scare some years back when people were sending these anthrax powder, and they were posting it by post, and a major scare that broke out in India's populations, and many people got affected at that time. So that was anthrax, a very famous one, actually infamous one. And if you talk about Ebola virus, they all, the bird flu, swine flu, they all came from other animals. They were not originated in humans, or they were not the primary affectors to humans. So they can be anything like virus, bacteria, fungi, parasites, but these are the common disease now between animals and humans. So that is the zoonotic term. Okay. OIE, that is the World Organization for Animal Health. That is talking about a concept called One Health. And One Health actually joins the health aspect of humans and animals. They say that they are interdependent, they are existing with each other. So interconnectivity between human health and the animal's health, that's very, very crucial for environment. And you see this is going on for centuries and millennials. Now you can see it was talked about by Hippocrates also. So that is the case. And these disease, please go in the history of bigger disease like HIV. The medical history says that HIV virus that came from monkeys, so it was also not the disease of humans. So they may be asked, and these are fatal many times, but not all the times. So it is wrong to say that these all are fatal ones. And these are the challenges for India. And some disease which are there in current affairs like Kaya Sunar forest disease, so that also came from primates and all. So they can be asked very, very easily. So go into the details, all the details. And disease, they are becoming much more a bigger focus for UPSC. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and Louisiana State University, they have predicted that this spring's record rainfall would produce one of the largest ever dead zones in the Gulf of Mexico. What are these dead zones? Actually, in some parts of the ocean, maybe mainly in the coastal areas and in some open ocean areas, what's happening? There are dead zones. So these aquatic animals and all, they are not able to survive there. Any aquatic animal which is coming to that area, that dies. Why? Because it is a dead zone. Why? We need oxygen to breathe. So the aquatic animals, they take this oxygen from the oceanic water only. So the dissolved oxygen must be there, but that oxygen is actually used by bacteria. Which bacteria? The bacteria which are decomposing the organic matter in the ocean. So from where this organic matter came? Huge amounts of organic matter that comes due to the eutrophication issue. So eutrophication is the process. How that starts? It starts when we are using fertilizers and all in excess amount, and that those fertilizers which are having nitrogen, phosphates and all, they are coming into these drains, then coming to rivers, then coming to oceans. So a lot of nutrient is reaching up to oceans or maybe lakes. So because these both are ultimate destinations. So lakes and oceans, they are reaching ultimately into these. Then because of the extra nutrients, the growth of phytoplanktons and the algae, which is called algal bloom and all, that you see, they flourish with a much high pace, and all water, the whole surface is covered. Sometimes microalgae, micro phytoplanktons and all, they are so small that they change the color of the water. You can see in this picture. this is all done by microalgae, and they are so small that the water looks green, and this happens because of excessive nutrients that reached into this water, and this is called eutrophication. And after some time, these algae, these phytoplanktons and all, they all will die according to their age, and they all will go towards the bottom because it's organic matter, so it will be decomposed by bacteria, and those bacteria who are decomposing consistently, they will need a lot of oxygen. More and more oxygen they will need. It is called BOD. So more BOD, more polluted the water is, because more bacteria are working on the organic matter. Means there is organic matter in the water, and bacteria are decomposing that, and that's why the water smells, and whole oxygen is consumed by these bacteria. So it asks about more and more oxygen, and that is called BOD. So this is the case with the eutrophication, and because of the eutrophication, this water becomes totally a dead zone where no aquatic animal can survive there. So this will happen on the Gulf of Mexico, that is located southeast to America, and Mississippi River is coming here, and it is taking a lot of fertilizer, that is nitrogenous fertilizer, and the phosphate material is also there. So these are supportive in the growth of algae and phytoplanktons, which will ultimately die and decompose by bacteria. So that is the case, and you see these are the famous areas, coastal areas, and these are open oceanic areas which are having these incidences, and they are very much fatal for the aquatic community. Okay, where the low oxygen levels were seen below 2 mg per liter. Okay, next, PMBJP, the Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana, very important one, and you see what you should remember with that. Whenever you see PMBJP, always remember generic medicines. What are the generic medicines at first? There are many dangerous diseases like cancer, diabetes, stroke and all. We need very expensive drugs for the treatment, and sometimes these drugs, their cost is not that much high, but the patent is very costly. So they are coming from some other country, and they are extremely expensive. Maybe one drug cost 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 rupees. So the richest people, they can afford, but common person, they cannot afford it, but they need to save their lives. So it was a kind of a deal of the generic medicines. Means the same drugs, their copies will be made in poorer countries. Like India is a huge market for generic medicine, and we are a major manufacturer of the generic medicines, and these are actually exported from India to least developed countries, African countries and other countries also, because we are a major exporter. So generic medicines, and here these generic medicines are procured under this PMBJP Yojana and through the Jan Aushadhi stores. In all the 652 districts of this country, these stores are available, they are established, and they are procuring them from all entities. They should be certified ones from WHO and some other body, and these should be authenticated medicines, and these are generic medicines. So for the generic medicines especially, these PMBJP is working. So it's a central scheme, and it is not only regarding NCD. You cannot say that just for the NCD's treatment these drugs are available. These can be available for any expensive drug, because these are the copies of the expensive drugs, cheaper copies. So that's the scheme. And BPPI, the Bureau of Pharmaceutical PSUs of India, that is implementing agency of the PMBJP. So remember that. And this BPPI, I discussed about that in the morning also, that it is the nodal agency and the implementing agency for this scheme, and that comes under the Department of Pharmaceutical, and Department of Pharmaceutical comes under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Okay, it is not Ministry of Health. So this first statement would be wrong, second is correct, third is again wrong, because it is not open for the NCDs. So only two would be the answer here, and the details are given in the PDF. We can any day discuss that and read about them. Very important scheme regarding the generic drugs. A lot of issues always the patents issues are there, because these companies who are making these original drugs, which are very expensive, they can never allow that research they have done. They have spent millions or billions of dollars on that, and now they want to sell it, they want to get their price back, but sometimes they are charging excessively, and ultimately that drug is available. If that is available, then many lives can be saved, but they cannot afford it because it's too expensive. So that is the case with these generic drugs, and these are procured by the Jan Aushadhi Kendras, and mainly BPPI that procures through many PSUs and other important companies, and that comes under Department of Pharmaceuticals. So that is the case. I have repeated twice here, and these are the salient features of the scheme, quality medicines and all, and categories are made here, and WHO and GMP certified manufacturers are there. Their drugs are procured only here. Okay, otherwise the quality is also an important issue. And recently the news was there that substandard drugs were found in 18 important these companies, and one of them is a PSU. So they are selling substandards generic medicines, and these are not working on the people. So that's a big betrayal there. So that is the case. Okay, so thanks a lot, keep watching, please go through the PDF, and we'll meet again tomorrow with many more questions, and please give your feedback also.